Hey coach, content marketing, social posts. It's an opportunity for you to build authority, trust, and rapport with your audience. And this is key. I mean, you want to move your readers from, strangers who've got a bit of mild interest to really wanting to talk to you about how you can help them overcome a challenge or achieve their goals, right? This is the whole point to it. Now, it's commonly known that you need to address know, like, and trust. So these are the three things really that your audience or somebody needs to have: know, like, and trust you in order to entertain working with you, spending money with you, and being potentially a client. So using social media posts or social media marketing to try and get those three things in place is key. The problem is most content out there is pretty shit. People are often scattergunning different types of posts out with no real understanding about strategy or even a basic understanding of what well-crafted content looks like. If it's badly written, it's not going to engage. It's not going to build authority, and it's going to end up being more annoying to your audience than it is valuable to them or you. And trust me, I've experienced this firsthand. When I started out, I had no clue. I was just throwing content out there. Even once I'd learnt the basics, I still struggled with things like being shy, holding back, perhaps not really wanting to fully express what it was that I wanted to say through fear of judgment. And don't even get me started on getting on camera or on video. When I started out, it was a nightmare. The good news is social content's actually quite easy. It's pretty simple, as long as you understand the rules of the game and you understand just a little bit of basic psychology. But don't worry, I'm going to give you everything you need to change the way that you write and deliver content. So you're going to be standing out in no time. And armed with this knowledge, it's amazing how quickly some of the other internal challenges about confidence and camera are just going to fade away. Because when you're worrying about less things and you actually start doing it and putting things out there, it's just going to become second nature. So let's do this, shall we? So first of all, I want you to understand that how you think dictates how you feel, which dictates how you act and dictates the results you're going to get. So bear that in mind. Content creation is a creative activity, right? It's a creative activity. So that means the key to it is being in the right state of mind when you're creating content. The best content is going to be produced when you're in a positive state, a state of joy, happiness, passion, humility, gratitude, enthusiasm, peace. Those things are going to come out in your content. The worst content's written when you're in a negative state. So if you're angry or frustrated about something, or you're feeling negative, or you're quite depressed, that's going to come out in your writing as well. So think about it. When you're angry at someone, do you say things you don't mean? Yeah. Opposite to that, when you're in a deep appreciation of somebody or showing a lot of gratitude to somebody, do you say something or do something that touches them or inspires them? Yeah. Well, content's no different. So make sure you are in the right state before and during post creation, and you're going to thank me later. And given pretty much all good content nowadays has emojis in there, your emotional state is going to affect the emojis that you pick. I know it sounds silly, but trust me, it does. Emojis are a form of expression. They're projecting who you are, so make sure that they're linked to a positive state in your post. So let's look at some other things that you also need to consider. Okay, so number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. Some things that I think you should be considering when you're writing good content. Number 1, authenticity. Be you. Don't be somebody else. Don't try and be something that you're not. Okay, if you're a bit nervous, then, it's up to you whether you let a bit of nerves come out in what you're writing. But don't just copy someone else. Don't just use ChatGPT to create all your posts for you. It needs to be authentically you. You're trying to build a connection with an audience. You cannot build a connection with an audience if you're writing and pretending to be somebody else or copying somebody else's post or using ChatGPT. So authentically be you in your post writing. Next, try and strive in some way to be different. Now, I don't mean that you have to be really massively controversial. I don't mean that you need to start swearing all over the place. But I mean, to be honest, I do. But then that sort of like comes back with me to being whole, authentically me. But be different. Don't just copy the trend. Don't copy what everybody else is doing. Be you and stand out being different. Okay, so if you can stand out above the others by doing something different, then you're going to gain some more attraction. So, authenticity, be different, concentrate on educating. And what I mean by that is you need to serve up value, okay, not sell. So you see loads of people all the time saying, I've got this offer, I've got that offer, contact me if you want to sign up for my new program. You know, here you go, buy this, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. People get absolutely sick of it. That's not what you want to be doing. You want to serve up value and educate. You want to inspire people. You want to encourage people to want to work with you because the value that you've given them, they've found some value in and they want more. And obviously there's a certain limit to how much value you give away. You're not just going to give your whole program away for free through every single post that you do for the next 3 months, but you're going to give snippets of it away because that's going to start building some interest, building some intrigue, and you're going to start educating people. So the key thing is value here. You're giving some valuable information away, and at the same time, you're educating people. We want to entertain. Now, not all of us are comedians. I'm certainly not. I'm regularly told by my wife that I'm not funny, so stop trying to be. And I get it. I'm not. But do entertain. It's not all about serving up serious value all the time. You can have something that's a little bit funny. I've got a particular series that I want to run on a Friday called the Fuck It Bucket Friday. So it's all stupid things that coaches believe when they're starting up a new business. And we throw 3 or 4 things in a bucket. It's a little video series. Just do something that's different. Do something that's you, that you believe in. Do something that's entertaining. The sorts of things that you want to try and do is you want to try and shock or create joy by entertaining. So shock or joy are the 2 emotions really that you're after. So what can you do in order to create some content that does those? And then the final thing is really, why are we doing all of this? Why are these things important? They're all important because they lead to this last one, which is we basically want people to engage. We want to elicit some sort of emotion from them, and we want them to like the post. We want them to comment on the post, and I'll discuss why that's what we're heading for a little bit later on. So, be the authentic you. Be different so that you stand out. Educate with value. Do not just sell and start trying to shove things down people's throats all the time. Entertain, perhaps trying to shock or through joy, all with the purpose of getting them to engage. If they engage, that's something that we can do something with. That can take us to the next stage. So 5 considerations there that I want you to think about around your content. Next, I want you to understand what a good content strategy is. So let's look at a good content strategy. So there's 5 R's of a good content strategy. So first of all, it's got to be real. Again, this goes back to the whole authenticity. We're not just copying somebody else. We're not just doing something silly. We want our content to be real. We need to make sure that it's regular. We've got to be committed to posting a number of times a week, whether that's 5, 4, or 3. Maybe it's only twice a week. At the end of the day, it needs to be regular. You need to commit to some form of regularity within a good content strategy. You need to be posting stuff that's relevant. And by relevant, I mean it's relevant to your target audience. Don't just post any old shit just because other people are posting that and getting likes. If it's not relevant to your audience, then you don't need to be posting it. So relevance to your audience is key. As we already mentioned, we need stuff that is rich in value. Okay. And if it's rich in value, then that's going to help us to educate. And the final piece really is what we call right to talk. Okay, what I mean by right to talk is that we build authority. So if we have a content strategy that is real, it's us, it's authentic, it's frequent, it's regular, okay, it's based on a schedule, it's relevant to our target audience, it's rich in value, and it's our right to talk, in which we can therefore build authority and educate, then that's going to be pretty much an award-winning strategy to get content out there that's going to get engagement, which is exactly what we're hoping to do so that we can do something with this engagement. So hopefully that makes sense. That gives you a bit of an inkling now to 5 key content tips. Okay, be the authentic you, be different to stand out, educate, entertain so that we get engagement, and the 5 R's of a good content strategy. So that's real, regular, relevant, rich in value, right to talk. So now we're going to look in a lot more detail at the actual content creation formula itself. So first thing that we need to consider is that when we're creating good content, one of the first things that we want to do is draw in with a hook or title. Okay, so hook and title is the first thing that we need to look at. So by this, what I mean is it's the title of the post. It's the first line of that post. It's the initial element that's going to grab the reader's attention. And it's designed to be really compelling and engaging and making the audience sort of curious. It's like intrigued. What's coming next? So it could be a provocative question. It could be a statement. It could be an interesting fact, a bold statement, or just something that sort of like appeals to an emotion. Like, doesn't it make you upset when X, Y, Z? Or 5 key things that I think that everybody should have been told when they were 10 years old. Silly, but you see what I mean? It's something that's going to build intrigue. It's going to make somebody want to read on, and it's bold. It's a title. It's what's known as a hook. So that's the first thing that we should look at within the content. Something else that we should also have in our content is setting the scene. So it's the event or pain. So that's the next thing. So we've looked at hook. Now we're going to look at event and pain. So the event or pain sort of sets the scene. It's the backstory of like the specific event or something that the audience is going to basically relate to. It's quite often just a bit of a personal anecdote, or, you know, oh, the other day I was driving down this road and I stopped because I saw a dead animal at the side of the road. Okay, whatever. But that's sort of setting the scene. Normally you want to try and make it resonate with somebody. It needs to not be something that's so weird or left field that nobody has ever experienced. It needs to almost make people go, oh yeah, me too. I've thought that. I've been there. I've done this. I've done that. It needs that relatability. So the goal is to connect with them emotionally at this stage by highlighting something, an event or a struggle or a challenge that they are familiar with. Next, we need to be looking at value or lesson. What do I mean by value or lesson? So this is where we've delivered the hook, we've built the intrigue, we've said what it's about, we've delivered a bit of the backstory or the relatable story and said, oh, you know, the other day I was driving, blah, 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 blah. So what I can learn from that is, next time I'm doing this, I'm going to put this into practice. Or, so what I learned from overcoming that challenge was, a lot of it's in my head, and actually I just need to speak to people. Again, whatever the value is, whatever the little lesson learned from that little bit of a story that you've put out there, you want to then highlight that as the value or lesson. So it's normally a tip, an insight, a unique solution. It's your way of doing things that if you did it again, you do it this way instead and save yourself a load of pain or cash or worry. So that's what this particular component is. And then finally, we have something called the CTA, the call to action. So what's the call to action? And this is not what everybody believes it is. This is not you saying, so come and sign up with me, or come and buy my program, come and do this, come and do that. They are all call to actions, but a call to action can be as simple as just giving them permission to engage or asking them to share their thoughts below. So I might have shared a particular story or event, brought them in with the hook, given them a bit of backstory, told them what the lesson learned is, and then perhaps my call to action is, would love to hear your thoughts on similar stories. Let me know in the comments. That's a call to action. So you're wanting to get them to take action. You're calling for them to take action, whether that is to sign up for a newsletter or to download a resource in the link you've provided, or like or comment or share, or whatever it is. But it's not always just about selling or signing up for something you've got. It's just as valid for your call to action to be, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So they're the key things within the content creation formula. We've got the hook, event or pain, value or lesson, and call to action. So provided you can have posts that have that structure in, you're not going to go too far wrong. So let's look at some examples of what those things look like, those different components look like, just to give you a little bit of inspiration. So, hooks. So things like, ever wondered why your productivity plummets after lunch? That's a hook. I almost gave up on my dream business, but here's what saved me. That's a hook. Discover the secret to flawless skin in just 1 week. Very salesy hook, but it's still a hook. Let's look at some events and pains. So this is where you set the scene, you set the backstory. So last year I found myself struggling, staying focused during afternoon work hours. No matter what I tried, my energy levels wouldn't drop and my productivity would take a hit. That's an event or pain. You're outlining a challenge, a problem, a particular thing that happened. You've not told them what the solution is yet. That's the next part of the content formula. Another event or pain. Starting my business was filled with setbacks. I faced countless rejections and financial difficulties, making me question if I was cut out for this at all. Another one. I've always had sensitive skin that would react badly to most skincare products. It was frustrating and made me self-conscious. So these are all different types of event or pain. Okay, so we're outlining the backstory. Then we're going to deliver some value. These are two different ones again, but they are different examples of value and lessons. So I realized that my persistence and seeking mentorship were key to me overcoming my business challenges. Connecting with successful entrepreneurs gave me the strategies and perspectives that turned my business around. So that is the value, that's the lesson that I've put into this post. And then the final piece are different types of call to action. So as I said, you can have something that's as simple as comment below with your thoughts. You can have something that's a little bit more salesy. Want to boost your productivity too? Check out my latest blog post for more tips. So when you put that all together, okay, you end up with something that's a bit more like this. So ever wonder why your productivity plummets after lunch? That's the hook. Last year, I found myself struggling to stay focused during my afternoon work hours. No matter what I tried, my energy levels would drop and my productivity took a hit. That's the event and pain. After trying various methods, I discovered a short power nap and healthy snack in the afternoon could significantly boost my energy levels. This simple change improved my productivity more than I could ever have expected. Want to boost your productivity too? Check out my latest blog. There we go. That post is written really well because it's got those different components. The only thing that's missing really is the odd emoji. But it is following that 4-pillar content creation structure, which is the hook, event pain, value, and call to action. So that is how to write really good content. And again, as I say, this is when you're putting content against videos. This is when you're putting a text post on socials against a video or an image. It's different if it's a live because you can't post all of that. It's different if it's like a Facebook postcard, one of those sort of like coloured images when you only get 130 characters. You can't put all of that copy into that either. So the worksheet's available on this lesson. It runs through all of that breakdown as I have done there. It gives you an example at the end, and it gives you lots of boxes to fill in as well so that you can try out your own hook, event pain, value lesson, and call to action. So download the worksheet, work through it, get used to playing about with different types of content, really get to know that content formula, be you, one of the key important things, and let's get you starting to create some really good content.